My name is Thomas Crapper, and I invented the toilet.
Okay, wait a minute. Thomas Crapper invented the toilet? We've got a few problems here. Alright, so I can understand why people get pretty confused over this stuff, but you gotta face the facts sooner or later, right? Here's the deal. Thomas Crapper didn't invent the modern flush toilet. Instead, let's take a look at Sir John Harington. A literary figure, if you will. Sir John Harington was the godson of Queen Elizabeth I. He was already a pretty popular guy during those times, which is why he's not only known for inventing the first indoor water closet.
Make me a water closet.
Huh? I bet that one threw you for a loop. Let me explain. Sir John Harington, building upon ideas from the Greeks and Romans, invented the first indoor water closet for his godmother. That settles it then. After John, we got our modern bowls of convenience, right?
Wrong!
Being the famous literary writer that he was, puns were flying. No, not literally. Or actually, yes, literally. Well, they were literary puns. Literally. You get the point. Alright, so, factually speaking, he later published a pamphlet with jokes of bad taste.
Oi, look at this! These jokes have horrible taste. Just read it, it's all right here in this pamphlet. Go on.
Back then, jakes would be another term for privy. I guess even back then, writers still took pleasure in placing toilet puns at the butt end of jokes. No pun intended. But the minds of the people certainly didn't stop this royal flush, as he distributed his pamphlets out to the public. The writing was so bad and so distasteful that his indoor water closet idea went down the drain. It essentially plunged into obscurity and insignificance for about 200 years. Okay, so maybe the puns were intended. Now you may be wondering if Mr. Harington wasn't even the first, and certainly not the last, to create an idea for a water closet. Where did any of it all start? Good question. Many historians believe that we can credit the Minoans for the first invention of a modern flushing toilet. But of course, that was nearly 4,000 years ago. Historians later credit the Chinese with inventing the first modern flush toilet for the emperor about 2,000 years ago. They've even found flush toilets in China dating back to that era. So after all that historical hoopla, Mr. Harington came along, did his thing, and was out of the toilet scene for a long time. Well, till the end of his life, actually. And after those 200 years of uncertainty, Alexander Cummings came into view. I believe it's time to
flush out the facts.
Alexander Cummings was born in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1733. He later in life became a watchmaker, publishing books on machines and watches. It wasn't until 1775 that he patented the flushing toilet. The difference was, it was significantly better than Sir John Harington's. Which is exactly why— wait, where'd he go?
Oi, what's wrong with you?
Well, it's just that my invention doesn't quite work anymore, and that Alexander Cummings guy made one better than mine.
Wait, if you died so long ago, how come you're still here?
So, Cummings' S-trap part helped to revolutionize the toilet industry. It also helped reduce that foul, pungent odor. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. This is nice and all, but can we get back to the topic? Why is Thomas Crapper even important at all? Haha, don't worry, we're about to get to that now. But first, you have to understand a few things. Water closets weren't all that popular. It required far too much water to operate and had to be connected to a flowing water source. So people resorted to something else. That's right, earth closets.
I can use it in the garden now.
But that didn't exactly work either. Too much water one way also meant too much dirt the other. It wasn't getting used fast enough, and to be honest, dirt wasn't all that much more convenient either. So what did they resort to? Yes, ash. The assumption was, if everyone had a fireplace and had leftover ash, it should be cheap and easy to use it for our lavatories.
Would you like us to collect ash for your water closet, Miss Poppins?
Oh yes, it'd be wonderful.
Hey boys, we're gonna put ash in the loo. Go on.
Ash in the loo?
Ash in the loo. Ash in the loo. Ash in the loo. Ash in the loo. Ho 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 ho.
Water closets, or earth, ash, whatever you like to call them, started to fade out and die. However, it wasn't until a particular showroom presented brand new ideas for water closets did the public finally accept it. Water closets hit big in 1851. People began to file patents left and right. And of course, the most memorable of these patents was by a man with the name Thomas Crapper. Yes, well, Crapper's cousins soon helped him open up a thriving business titled Crapper and Company. Those days would soon be known as Crapper's Golden Days. Alright, so Tom, if you could tell us a little more about your successful career in the toilet industry.
Yes, well, thank you. I never anticipated for it to get this popular, but you know, everyone's got to take an idea and run with it at some point. So I pretty much made it popular and sealed my name on it, Crapper, and that was it. It was good to go. What do you think? Well? I'm sorry, but I just can't get over your last name. What?
I'm sorry, Mr. Coldlord, but that's pretty mean, even for you. You're fired.
Alright, you know what? You can't fire me because I quit.
Pretty soon, toilets are being distributed across the world. The first airline company to ever feature a toilet on board was Russian. And the first time America ever saw a toilet flush on screen was in Alfred Hitchcock's film Psycho. And that about does it. Here we are in modern times, with our stately white thrones and air-conditioned living quarters. We can now easily say that it didn't take one man to make a toilet, but rather a variety of nations and individuals throughout history. Sorry, Mr. Crapper, but you weren't the only one. With questions answered and curiosities satisfied, perhaps this time we will all think before we flush.